Today, we will enter the biggest cave in the world. You cannot imagine the size of this cave. Inside the cave, 50 helicopters can fly at the same time. Hundreds of Cappadocian balloons can also circulate inside this cave without crashing into each other. Inside the world's largest cave, we are going on a mysterious journey. In the spring of 1991 in Vietnam, a Vietnamese man named Ho Con was walking in the landscape to cut wood. When the sweet spring rain became a little heavy, the Vietnamese man, who now 51 years old, sought shelter. He experienced a scene that he had never seen in his life, a first in his professional life, and he saw the entrance of the cave. Ho Con worked as a cave guide in Vietnam. He also undertook the protection of the surrounding caves. Perhaps luck, perhaps fate, led him to the mouth of the largest cave in the world. Of course, we should not forget the rain. As the cave guide, Ho Con approached the mouth of the cave, he became frightened by the strong wind blowing from inside and the deafening humming. He had no rope or mountaineering equipment on him that day. If he entered the cave, he would be taking a big risk. Doong Cave is located 50 kilometers from Doong Hoi in Vietnam and 44 kilometers north of the airport. This cave is located 450 kilometers south of Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. The cave is a giant cave located within the boundaries of the national park in Quang Binh. Among those who visit as tourists, there is no one who is not afraid of this cave. Ho Con, who discovered the cave by chance on a rainy April day in 1991, mustered up his courage and took 15 or 20 steps in the direction from which the buzzing came. Ho Con was shocked by what he saw. Inside the giant cave was a river. The cave guide watched this scene as if he was watching a science fiction movie. Then, when his fear took hold of his soul again, he returned home without doing anything, without paying attention to the rain. Ho Con. The cave guide had strange dreams that night. He woke up from his sleep many times. The scene in which he saw the cave was not leaving his mind. He slept again, woke up again. After tossing and turning in bed until morning, Ho Con set off first thing in the morning to go to the cave and explore it for hours. He took with him all the mountaineering and caving equipment that was in his house. He went to the same area where he had gone the day before to cut wood. For hours he searched for the entrance to the giant cave, but strangely enough, he could not find it. The trees, the little paths looked alike. Ho Con was really about to lose his mind. He knew the region he had traveled for years like the back of his hand. He had shown the caves to tourists hundreds of times around here before. The young man returned home in a desperate way. The day before, he even began to think that he had hallucinated. He was really starting to think about that cave to a degree that made him lose his mind. His wife was also upset about his situation. The young caver Ho Con continued to take tourists around the area for years, but he never found the huge cave again. After 1991, Ho Con never saw the gigantic cave again, but in 2008, at home in Vietnam, he had an idea and acted on it. Ho Con emailed the British Cave Research Association. He introduced himself and told about the incident he had experienced many years ago. The correspondence lasted for a full year. After a year of correspondence, the British Cave Research Association received official permission from the Vietnamese government and arrived in the country with a team of 20 people. Ho Con welcomed the British speleologists. On the first day of the meeting, at the hotel where the British speleologists were staying, Ho Con and the team worked at a desk for about 13 to 14 hours to come up with a plan of action. At the head of the team, Ho Con took charge as a guide. Taking the necessary materials and food with them, the team entered the forest area covered with dense trees. The 20-member team, with their Vietnamese guide, Ho Con, moved through the jungle for days without blinking an eye. 8 days had passed. Not finding a single trace of the gigantic cave, the team discovered 11 smaller caves not registered in the Vietnamese cultural treasures. One of the 11 caves without names was named Ho Kan, and the other was named after Tai Hoa, the name of his daughter. After experiencing the joy of 11 caves, the team set off again. Days later, when they were exploring again on a rainy April morning, they found that huge cave. The team entered the cave accompanied by shouts of joy. The British cave team could not believe what they saw. In front of them stood the largest cave in the world. They inserted laser measuring devices inside to measure the size and height of the cave. Found in the jungles of Vietnam, the cave was named Hang Son Doong. The measurements revealed that the cave is 6.5 kilometers long. There was incredible noise and wind inside. As the British team moved deeper into the cave, they experienced another first in their lives. Because the cave was so big that inside the cave there was a rainforest, a big river and small mountains. Ho Kan made the even more frightening announcement after the British team had finished the expedition and made a press release. The Vietnamese cave guide said in an interview that not all of the cave has been explored yet. According to experts, there are hundreds of undiscovered plants and animals in this huge cave. The cave is about 150 meters wide and 200 meters high. You will remember that the name of the cave was Hang Son Doong. This meant Mountain River Cave in Vietnamese. After 2009, numerous investigations revealed that the cave was located on a 2-million-year-old fault line. Tourist visits are possible up to a certain part of the cave. For 5 to 7 day tours, you have to pay a fee of $3,000 per person. Formed 5 million years ago, the cave was inhabited by giant dragons, according to researchers. The cave, in which a 40-story skyscraper could fit, is estimated to contain 150 interconnected caves, and is in fact 200 kilometers long, according to estimates. The cave, which has been kept off the world agenda and away from tourist visits for a long time, is one of the places that earns the Vietnamese state the most money from tourist visits. Mountain River Cave, with its exotic vegetation, unique climate and frightening appearance, will reopen its doors to showcase its mysteries after the pandemic. Maybe you are planning a trip to Vietnam and want to go here? Let's ask, though. Do you guys brave enough to come in here?